Hey guys, so today I'm going to do my February wrap up. We're going to get right into it. I read 16 books this month, which I'm pretty sure is what I read last month too, so that's just keeping with the trend. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first book I read this month was Roll by Jay Cronover, and this is the first book in the Marked Men series, and it's about this girl named Shaw and this guy named Roll, and Roll's the butthead and a tattoo person, and it's a very hard concept to understand, so we're going to get into the next one. And then I read the sequel, Jet, which is in Jet's thing with Aiden, and this is confusing if you haven't read the series. I'm horrible at explaining this series. Tattoo guys, this one's a rock star. I don't know what else to say. And I gave both of those books 4 to 5 stars, and I'm really interested to read Rome and Nash, which I think Rome just came out and Nash is coming out soon this year. Be fair warning, I read a lot of like 4-star books this month, so that's what's up. And the other 4-star book I read this month is, if it's gonna start being all wonky, is Forgiving Lies by Molly McAdams. And I actually did a review on this, so I'll link that down below if you want to hear more about what this is about and stuff. And I was just kind of like on this like sequel kick, so I decided to read the second book in the McCabe Trilogy, which is Seduction of a Highland Lass. Then I'm like, after I finished reading this, which I gave 5 stars, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the third one, which is in the third brother. Each one is a different brother, so this one is Never Love a Highlander, and I gave this one 5 stars too. I just love Maya Banks, and she does really good writing, and I really enjoyed this, and I'm still calling people like lads and lasses, so yeah, it's fun to be in my life. So the next book I read was Be With Me by Jennifer L. Armentrout, or Jalen, writing as Jalen, I guess is what you would say. I don't know. And this is in the Cam's sister, Teresa. This is her story with someone. I'm not going to tell you who because I'm not going to spoil anything. So woo, woo. But I really enjoyed this story, and I totally, like, every single kicker that was in there I got. But it was just nice to hear her story and just be happy. The next book I read is Buried to You by Sylvia Day, and I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I did. And I don't know, it's about this chick, it's with the dude, and it's very, like, if you read the book 50 Shades of Grey, that's what people compare this to, I guess. I don't know, it was on my library ebook loan, it was available, so I'm like, okay, I'll read that. And I don't know, I enjoyed it, but I didn't really like it. Is that weird? No, I liked it, but I didn't really enjoy it. That's kind of, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably continue on with the series. The next book I read is Out of Play by Nari Dawn and Jolene Perry. That's fun. And I gave this book 4 to 5 stars. It follows this drummer named Bishop, and he's a pretty young dude. He's like 18. He's been in this rock band that's like extremely famous. I was in a really weird like rock star phase this month. I don't understand it. But yeah, and then he's sent away to Alaska instead of rehab. And there's this girl there, and her family owns where he's staying, and things happen, and I really enjoyed this story because it was more than I thought it was going to be like, so woot to that. The next book I read, I actually reread the first 2 books, but I didn't actually count it in my Goodreads thing. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't feel like going through the work of like clearing the old reading thing and adding it to the new one. So I'm just like, you know what? The 3rd book is a new one. We'll just do that. So Raging Love, which is the 3rd book in the Mitchell family series by Jennifer Four. Jennifer Four. That's hard to say. And basically the first book is about Colt and Savannah, and the second one is about Megan, and this one goes back to Colt and Savannah, and a lot of crap happens. Like these 3 books are like over the span of like 7 years or 5 years. I don't know, a lot of years. But I gave it 4 to 5 stars. It was okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Colt and Savannah's story, but I do really like the second book, so I was kind of giving this one a shot. But I like enjoyed all of the side characters, and I know the next few books are Connor's story, so I'm interested to see how that'll go too. The next book I read is Take a Chance by Abby Glines, and this is the 6th book in the Rosemary Beach series, but the 1st book in the Take a Chance series. All of this is very confusing, but basically you want to read the first like 5 of these books, unless you don't really care about getting spoiled, before you read this. And this is Grant's story, finally. I was really excited for Grant's story, and I was really excited who the female protagonist was, but this book kind of let me down in a way. And I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, but it's ranked up to 4 on Goodreads. It just wasn't what I was expecting, and it was too drawn out in my mind, and just everything about it wasn't what I wanted, I guess. And not only that I wanted, that I just didn't enjoy, to the point that I'm like, you're so stupid! Not to Abby Glines, but to Grant and everyone in this book. Apparently I was in a Dawn book thing, but I read Facade by her, which is the second book in the games, and the first book is Charade, I believe, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forget everything about this book. But I remember enjoying it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I just can't remember anything. I read too much this week. Too much is going on in my head right now. And I'm sure waiting almost an entire week after February ends to film this is probably not the best idea, but who cares? I put my bangs up, they were pissing me off. The next book I read is Finders Keepers by Nicole Williams, and this is the third, and I'm pretty sure final book in the Lost and Found series, and this is actually Garth's story, so like, happy pants there. I love Garth. Now, I started this like 3 months ago, but I just put it down. I don't know why I did, because it was really good, but I'm like, you know what, I want to finish this, so I finished it, and I loved it, and it was great, and it was awesome, and Garth, hot. And I think this is 1 or 2 of the only books that got 5 out of 5 stars. So yay for that, because I've been in like a real like 4-star giving funk. These next 2 books are actually rereads, but I read them as ebooks and I got the physical copies in a box set. So I'm like, you know what, I feel like reading some more Abby Glines. And this was before Take a Chance, so I was like craving Abby Glines. So I reread Breathe, which is the first book in the Sea Breeze series, and then Because of Low by Abby Glines, which is the second book. So both of these got 4 out of 5 stars. Now, I enjoyed both of these books. The first book follows Sadie and Jax, and I'm not going to say who this follows because it could ruin it. So, you know, they were really good books if you just want, like, quick reads. I mean, I flew through these both in the same day, so they are cool. And the last book I read this month, which I'm sure tons of people have included in their wrap-up, is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. And oh my god, this book was so amazing. And it's a lot shorter than I thought it'd be, but I'm okay with it. It ended how I wanted it to. And I'm just happy with this book. And I kind of want to reread it just to mark my favorite parts, because I didn't do that in the first one, because I'm like, I need to know what happened. So I didn't like bother marking any of that stuff down. But now I really regret it. But we'll probably be rereading this trilogy again and again and again, because it's perfect. It really is. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars if you couldn't guess. So those are all the books I read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this wrap up. I will link all the books down below to their Goodreads links and their names and stuff like that, so you can check them out too. And if a sequel is mentioned, I link the first book so you don't get spoiled. So I'm awesome like that. So we're gonna do that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Add me as a friend on Goodreads, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!